Well, we did it again.
I think she's seeing the animals. She slapped a goat.
She did what?
Helen just slapped a goat. Stay at the wall, stay at the wall. She's there, she's there.
So we got a phone call last week about some abandoned pigs. Some friend of ours that have a farm out in Bessemer City, they called us and told us about it. So we decided, you know what, we already have one rescue pig. We might as well go for a few more. So we loaded up the truck and went out to the farm in Bessemer City. And it was a time trying to corral these pigs. The mama probably weighs 250 pounds, maybe. We think she might be pregnant, which would be really cool. So we'll get into all that later. And then there were some smaller pigs with her. So we had 5 or 6 people, maybe 7 at one point, trying to surround the pig, trying to be nice and humane, but trying to get her into a safe spot. One guy, we think, he kept diving on her or diving around her, trying to grab a hold of her. We think he might have broke a rib. So it was quite the ordeal. So now we've had them for a week. Now it is time to introduce Ernest, which you guys all know and love Ernest from previous videos. Now it's time to introduce Ernest to the 2 new pigs. So we're not going to put food in there with them yet because now they have nothing to fight over. We're just going to introduce them, kind of let them assert their dominance and figure out the hierarchy. And we're here to keep them safe. But like I said, it has to happen. It's just a natural process of how God made animals. So we want to invite you to come along and see what that's like. Hey.
Which one's your favorite?
Ernest.
Oh, I meant of the 2 new ones.
Come on, Ernest. Good boy. Good boy.
All right, let me go in there and open up the gate.
Okay, I'm gonna let him eat for a minute.
Give him a little boot with your... Okay, come on in.
Yeah. So the food was just to entice Ernest in here, so they'd have nothing to, so he could get in here without us having to pick him up. He gets real skittish if we try to grab him. So now that he's in here, we took the food away.
I think the hardest part of this is that we want them to be introduced and we want them to live in a herd. And for that to happen, they have to meet. And the fight is inevitable. As much as we hate that, it kind of has to happen. They have to figure out who's going to be in charge. Even though these were rescued together, when they came in this pen together, this one right here threw a huge fit and really gave her a run for her money. So the dynamic right now is that little miss over here is like the sorority chick who tells everybody what to do. You always think it's going to be the bigger animal, but that's not necessarily the case. So I have some like trepidation over poor Ernest.
So I am gonna grab.
So far, they're ignoring him.
I am gonna grab this little thing right here in case they start to get a little out of control. I can squeeze this in between them. You know, like you do to teenagers at a dance that are getting too close. You slide something in between them to stop them from.
Leave room for the Holy Spirit, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm gonna have this just in case.
Now she does have some leftover pumpkin. She might try to guard that resource a little bit, but we shall see. I'm really glad that they're ignoring him so far. We tried to introduce them.
His tail's not wagging. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's okay. We tried to introduce them a while ago, and there was a bit of a fight, so we removed them and gave them more time to get to know each other through this fence right here. All right, little mama's coming over.
He is getting a little nervous, though.
He is. Oh, buddy. We're right here. He's definitely looking for a place to hide. All right, they're posturing.
There we go. Be nice to each other. which is good.
Yeah,
Maybe the little one will realize that he's not trying to fight.
he's hiding behind my legs, baby.
Maybe she'll realize that he doesn't want to fight,
Yeah.
so she won't worry with him.
You can hide behind me, you poor thing. I know. Hey, little mama. Do you want to meet your buddy? I promise y'all are going to be best friends. He's so much bigger than her.
How do you do this so easily? I'm a foot taller than you. That's hard for me. So, it's about 15-20 minutes later. They seem to be okay. Tails are wagging, which is always a good sign. Ernest was kind of rustling around a little bit over there, rooting, trying to get out, but now he seems to be okay. They fought a little, but it wasn't anything. It was a lot easier than we expected. So now we're just shoring up the stalls. Christine built this little playground. It's a little place where they can go hide, find some shelter. You said pigs are den animals, is that correct?
Yep.
So they're gonna like this, kind of a place for some shelter. So yeah, mission accomplished. Now I'm not sure if we told you, but our big pig, their names, by the way.
Oh, that's right.
So the big one right here, point down to the big one, she's Romina, because her and Ernest, Ernest and Romina, married the taxidermist, what sewed up her head. Just kidding. So anyway, we think, so we got Ernest and Romina, and we're still contemplating the little one. She's a little girl, but we're not sure
What we want to name
We'll get
her.
back to you on that one. But Romina, we think, is pregnant. So when she starts going into labor, there's some telltale signs that she'll be in labor. She'll be in here by herself. We'll remove the little one and Ernest so she can be in peace while she's in labor. And maybe we'll have some little pig babies. That'll be fun.
That would be fun. All right, we'll see y'all in the next video. Might be a birthing video. We'll see. Well, here we are the next day. Here's Mr. Ernest T. Bass. Here's Romina. Here's the little one. I want to call her Ellie. Scott's not really digging the name just yet. But they are all in here happy together. When I walked down here, they were laying side by side, just keeping each other warm. They seem very, very happy. It's always hard, when you put an animal through something that they don't understand and they're frightened or they're scared or even potentially hurt, but it's better for them in the long run. I think I've said this 10,000 times. Like with my horses, it's scary to have somebody picking up their feet for the first time or those kind of things. But, it's so good for them in the long run. And being alone is just not good for little Ernest T. So I'm so glad that we stuck with it and introduced them slowly. And now he's got his little herd and they're figuring it all out. Does anybody know the breed of this little girl right here? What is this thing?